Picture this: life as usual in communities across the globe, where USAID programs provide food, clean water, healthcare, and education. Now, imagine all of that suddenly disappearing. In a move that sent shockwaves around the world, President Trump signed an executive order suspending the United States Agency for International Development, better known as USAID. The decision, swift and controversial, effectively halted billions of dollars in foreign aid, leaving countless communities in limbo. The suspension of USAID didn't just disrupt international aid, it crippled one of the most significant humanitarian organizations in the world. Offices were shut down. Projects were left incomplete. Narrator: for years, USAID has funded healthcare initiatives in some of the world's most vulnerable regions. Now, clinics have run out of medicine. Vaccination programs have stopped. Expectant mothers, newborns, and the sick have nowhere to turn. The consequences are dire. In agricultural communities, USAID programs have provided tools, education, and resources to help farmers cultivate food. Without these programs, crops are failing. Farmers who once relied on aid to improve irrigation, access quality seeds, and combat climate change are left without options. Food shortages are looming. Starvation is no longer a distant fear. It is an immediate threat. Water. Something so essential, yet for many, so difficult to obtain. USAID has been responsible for building wells and water filtration systems, giving millions access to clean, safe drinking water. But with funding frozen, these systems have stopped functioning. Communities are once again drinking from polluted sources, increasing the risk of deadly diseases like cholera and dysentery. In war-torn regions, USAID has been a lifeline for refugees. Food rations, shelter, education for children, all dependent on American aid. Now, supplies are running out. Humanitarian crises are worsening. Families that have already lost everything are being pushed even further to the brink. Education, one of the most powerful tools for breaking the cycle of poverty. USAID has funded schools, provided scholarships, and trained teachers in struggling regions. But with the suspension of funds, many of these programs have been forced to shut down. The dreams of countless children are being shattered. The hope for a better future is fading. Beyond humanitarian aid, USAID has played a crucial role in protecting our planet. Funding for conservation efforts, combating deforestation, and addressing climate change have all been part of USAID's mission. Now, as funding dries up, these initiatives are left abandoned. Forests continue to be destroyed. Endangered species face an even greater risk of extinction. Climate change mitigation efforts are stalled. The environment suffers. The backlash has been swift. Human rights groups, NGOs, and even government officials have called for an immediate reversal of the suspension. Lawsuits have been filed. Protests have erupted. The courts have been forced to intervene. But will it be enough? Federal judges have issued temporary injunctions to reinstate certain programs. But legal battles are just beginning. The question remains, will these measures be permanent? Or will USAID remain in limbo? The world is watching. Allies and foreign governments have condemned the decision. Countries that have long relied on US aid are now scrambling to find alternative support. Some have turned to rival nations for assistance, shifting global power dynamics in ways that could have long-term consequences for US influence abroad. For the people directly affected, this isn't about politics. It's about survival. It's about the mother who can no longer feed her children, the farmer who has lost his crops, the doctor who can no longer save lives, the child who may never go to school again. The suspension of USAID isn't just a policy decision. It's a global crisis. The long-term consequences, devastating. The cost, measured not in dollars, but in human lives. What happens next? Will aid be restored, or will the world be left to pick up the pieces? One thing is certain, the impact of this decision will be felt for generations to come. The question is, will we act before it's too late?